Cracker Barrel restaurants decided to pull all of their Duck Dynasty merchandise after Phil Robertson, the head of the family on Duck Dynasty, made his anti-gay, well, I wouldn't say anti-black, but racist comments in a GQ interview. So Cracker Barrel decided, you know what, we're going to jump ahead of the controversy. We don't want to deal with this. We're going to get rid of our merchandise. But they immediately got a lot of lashback because of that. People were not happy with it. Just to give you a little taste of the criticism that they received, one person wrote, after you are done removing selected products, go ahead and remove a bunch of tables and chairs. You won't be needing them anymore, implying, of course, that he's not going to go to that restaurant anymore.
Damn.
And Cracker Barrel got so many of these comments that 2 days later, they decided to reverse their decision and start selling Duck Dynasty merchandise again. They even issued the most sincere apology of all time.
Ironically, to defend the homophobic and possibly racist guy that they're bringing back.
Yes, so they said the following: you told us we made a mistake, and you weren't shy about it. You wrote, you called, and you took to social media to express your thoughts and feelings. You flat out told us we were wrong. We listened. Today, we're putting all our Duck Dynasty products back in our stores.
So they apparently got over 30,000 comments on the original post that they put up explaining they were pulling the products. Now, that's a lot of comments, dude, right? And there was a significant reaction. But look, it's a free market in a lot of ways.
It is. I do not blame them for their decision, okay? They are a business and they want to make money. So if they are getting that type of reaction to a decision that they made, if they want to reverse that decision because of their own self-interest, then I'm fine with that. I don't agree with it. I mean, I don't agree with what Phil Robertson said. I don't like grouping gay people in with people that have sex with animals and terrorists. I don't agree that people during the civil rights era were happy to be working on the fields and not receive the same type of respect and equality that white people were getting. But if Cracker Barrel wants to do that, if they want to go ahead and sell this merchandise, it's up to them. It is the free market, you're right.
Yeah, and so they were at first trying to respond to the market by saying, no, we don't. So all the people who are offended by this, and it's not just gays and blacks, we're not gay or black, we're offended by it, right? They wanted to say, hey, make sure you continue to come to Cracker Barrel because we're not with that guy. Then they realized the word cracker is in their title. So they were like, wait, our mistake and our bad. We meant, yeah, Phil Robertson, that's our dude. And so if that's their clientele, that's their clientele. They've made a business decision and they're going to back the guy. Now, look, I actually like Cracker Barrel a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. and so whenever I'm on the road, I used to drive between New Jersey and Florida all the time. And I'd always stop by at the Cracker Barrels. Now, so this doesn't affect my decision on whether to go to a Cracker Barrel or not. It was different when Chick-fil-A, the owner, was in everybody's face and was like, oh, no.
I don't like gay people.
Yeah, gay people shouldn't have the same rights as straight people. He says it in his own way, but that's obviously where he's leading with it. And so I don't go to Chick-fil-A anymore. But it's, that's everybody's own personal decision. But they're waffling here back and forth on this Duck Dynasty issue. Isn't going to affect me one way or another.
You know what I do wonder about, though? So when it comes to social issues, oftentimes we kind of have the mindset that things will always progress, right? However, there is an opportunity for us to regress when it comes to these types of issues. So abortion is one of them. With abortion, after 1973, that Supreme Court ruling, of course, abortion was legal. It was a little difficult in red states, but it was still accessible. And recently, it's become inaccessible in a lot of red states, right? The same thing could be true of our mindset on the gay community, where some people will be super frustrated and annoyed with the progress that's being made, and they'll scream and they'll shout and they'll say, no, we don't want this, and they'll be somewhat successful. I mean, this guy straight out said that gay people shouldn't have the same rights. He straight out said that gay people should be equated with those who have sex with animals and with terrorists. Like, that's absurd. How are you going to stand by someone who says that?
But remember what I said on day one of this controversy. I said, look, there's at least 35% of the population that totally agrees with him.
It's bananas.
So
I know it exists,
And I would
But I
say
don't
the
wanna
Cracker Barrel
acknowledge it.
clientele, look, I know there's Cracker Barrels in 42 different states. It's also in New Jersey where I grew up and stuff. But my guess is that Cracker Barrel clientele, and that's why they made this decision, it's more than 35% who agree with Phil Robertson. It's probably the great majority of the Cracker Barrel clientele that agree with Phil Robertson. So that's why they go in the direction that they go, right? So yes, that's a little, that's a little disconcerting. And look, it's not just the original comments. If you haven't seen the full context, he then, we found a tape of him just from 3 years ago in Pennsylvania saying the most vicious thing about gays, about how they're murderers and they're going to try to kill you. I mean, riling people up.
Inciting violence against
Yeah, I mean,
them.
that's certainly what it looked like. So it went from, hey, this is an ignorant old fool. And I've been telling you that for a long time, especially on the civil rights issues too. You think these guys are all dead? They're not all dead. He lived through the civil rights time. He's talking about the pre-civil rights, Jim Crow laws, when a lot of blacks were intimidated into not voting, et cetera. And he was like, they didn't seem to be complaining back then. Yeah, they weren't complaining to you because you lived in Louisiana and you might have lynched them, right? So those guys are still around. They're still watching Fox News. Apparently they're still on Duck Dynasty, right? So now those guys who are now at least a little embarrassed to say what they say about blacks, they're not at all embarrassed to say it about gays. And they live among us. So that's why I actually like this conversation. I know people think, it's now gotten to the point where everybody's talking about Duck Dynasty too much, but this is how we all learn. So a lot of people growing up with me, if you told them there's guys in Louisiana who still think, no, during the Jim Crow time, the blacks loved it. They'd be like, no, there's no such people. Not only do they exist, but 14 million people watch them on A&E, and apparently a lot of Cracker Barrel customers will stop going to that store and chain restaurant if they say they're not backing Phil Robertson. So yes, there's still a lot of work to do in getting people caught up to, the reality of the fact that gay Americans should have the same rights as us, let alone how African Americans lived and still live today.